Maayong gabi kaninyong tanan. Mas maayo ko sa Cebuano kaysa Tagalog. Sabi Nina, when she came to visit us in Monrovia, not knowing who she was, and then finding out she was organizing this wonderful reunion, and then she asked me and Sister Joseph Lourdes if we would come, and we said, oh sure, especially when we heard Sister Rosalie was coming too. So we were very happy to be here. So I just want to give you a little snapshot of other work with the Maryknoll sisters in the Philippines. So we come and we go, and sometimes we come and have a school, and then we don't have a school, and then we have another school, and it's like that. So it's like we have this saying that when you go in mission, you go where you're needed but not wanted, and you stay until you're wanted but not needed. And so that, in a nutshell, is one reason we turned over the school. So being a missionary, you don't go and you don't stay forever in one place, but you go to fulfill a need, and then you move on and fulfill other needs. So I'd just like to give you a little snapshot of a few things I did in the Philippines. And I started out in Lipa City, Batangas, which is Rosalie's hometown, and the school where she also went to, Our Lady of the Rosary Academy. And we were there for a number of years. After that, I went to Mindanao. Anyone here from Mindanao?
No.
That's the deep south. That's the deep south. There's even deeper south than that. There's the Sulu Archipelago in Tawi-Tawi. Actually, many Filipinos I meet, because I also do talks in churches for mission appeals, and I meet many Filipinos, and many of them tell me, when I tell them some places I've been in the Philippines, they say, oh, you've been more places than I've ever been in the Philippines. And I think that's really true. So anyway, I went first to Davao del Norte, Santo Tomas Davao del Norte. It was called Davao del Norte at that time. And I was in a Maryknoll high school there, which was in the area the Maryknoll Fathers were, Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers. So that was the Maryknoll School, and we ran schools in their parishes. And then after that, I also went to Cotabato City, and I was in two missions that were Cotabato City. I was in the university run by the Oblates of Mary Immaculate. I was in the education department, supervising practice teachers. I had never gone through practice teaching myself, but I got a master's in education, and I ended up supervising practice teachers. So you learn as you go along. You keep ahead of the students, maybe one step, two steps. So I was there, and about half of the students, or maybe a third of the students, were Muslim, and because it was probably half Christian Muslims. My first experience working with Muslims, and it was very interesting. And then from there I went to Holo, Sulu, and that is probably the town of Holo, which is the capital of Sulu, is probably about 90% Muslim, and the province was about 99% Muslim, and there were a few other Catholic schools there. Most of their students were Muslim, and that was a great experience also. And so I really got very interested in Islam, and I learned a lot about it. I mean, maybe this much, and I really enjoyed that. I also got to visit Tawi-Tawi, which became a separate province at that time. Agar, which is the seaweed, which they then make into gelatin, I think, among other things. So I learned a lot. Anyway, and then some other interesting places. I ended up in Baguio City. Anyone here from Baguio? We visited Baguio, okay. So we have had a school there since, I think we bought the property in 1928.
Wow.
And we built a kind of a big house, which we thought we would maybe have, guests there. But then in the early 1930s, the sisters were asked to start a school for expatriates, or Americans living there. And then actually did get into a Maryknoll convent school in Baguio, and there's a Maryknoll convent school also in Hong Kong. Anyway, so I was there for about 10 years, and actually I was there after, it was after the earthquake in 1990 when the convent was mostly so badly damaged it had to be turned down. It was a big school, it had been the convent school, and then we had built another school on another hillside, and it became an ecological sanctuary. Maryknoll Sisters Center for Justice and Peace and the Integrity of Environment. I guess that was right, thank you. And so that I was there when we started a program for alternative education about the earth and our place in the earth and taking care of the earth. And I'd just like to refer you to the Bishops' Conference in 1988, quite a long time ago, wrote a pastoral letter, "What is happening to our beautiful land?" And in it they give examples of terrible environmental degradation happening in the area of mining, overlogging, excessive logging, leading to landslides, killing a lot of people, and flooding, and then the overfishing with the fishing boats from Taiwan and Japan, coming and baking up the coral reefs in order to scare the fish into the nets. And in the mission appeals, as I go around parishes and talking, I talk about alternative education, and I mention the Bishop's pastoral letter, which Pope Francis now has written his own on care of our common home in 2015. So we need to take care of our home because soon humans may be extinct, the planet may live on, damaged, but we may not be here anymore. So these are human problems as well as environmental problems, and they affect all of us. So that's in a nutshell some of the things I've done in the Philippines. And I'd like to say that I'm inspired by all of what you're sharing in the meeting for Maryknoll for you, and how it makes you feel at home, and how it has given you these talents and being able to develop your personality and your character and your work. And that is very inspiring to us as Maryknoll sisters. Thank you.